Wintrust Business Lunch. John Williams here. Our next guest is Daniel Blank. He is the founder of The Place for Children with Autism. The website is theplaceforchildrenwithautism.com. Daniel, thanks for joining us. You're on WGN Radio.
Thank you for having me. The last time we talked, we were talking about the 30 seconds of quiet gratitude implemented.
Yeah, you were actually running a commercial on this radio station that was almost entirely devoid of any spoken words. It was just a peaceful piece of music and then a note from you, the sponsor, on that. I think we were all the beneficiaries of that. And our Bob Surratt in the morning has virtually copied that. He does a musical moment of Zen every day.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was going to say, now we need 30 seconds of peace.
Just quiet.
This world, we just need some peace. Anyway, it's great to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, you are in the business of creating peace for individuals with autism, I guess families as well. Just from a business standpoint, let's talk about that first. How's business for you? Are people still reaching out to your service?
Yeah, I mean, back in March, we were ahead of when there was the shutdown. We decided to shut down a little bit early. And, you know, there was a shock, obviously, because nobody had expected this. But we quickly pivoted, and we were able to switch to telehealth. And then we took the time to get the safety issues right. So that was the top priority, is that if we were going to reopen our centers, we had to make sure that everybody felt safe. And that took a good 2 months to implement. We had to redesign our buildings. We had to put in different safety measures. We had to acquire PPE for everyone. And that was the only way that we could reopen. And so far, we opened in May, and we have had no issues. We've gotten a tremendous amount of compliments from our families and our employees about how safe they feel. But it does look different. And we went from, having to temporarily lay people off, to where we're almost back to full now. And we actually have plans to open new centers now. So we survived. And we did it all on our own. We didn't have to ask for any assistance. We were able to do it all on our own.
Well, I'm glad to hear all of that. For those who haven't heard your previous conversations with us, describe your centers. Are they like schools? Are they like rehabilitation centers? How do they work?
We work only with children ages 2 to 6, because with autism, when you work with a younger child, the success rate, the outcomes is far greater than if you intervene when a child is older. So the earlier a child can get treatment, and we do what's called ABA therapy. We do it one-on-one, but we had a model where we were also doing some group work, but obviously because of COVID, we can't do that, so we've had to pull back from that. But our focus is entirely on the outcomes. And quite frankly, we have a lot of children who come to us who are nonverbal. And then within a certain amount of time, we get to the place where the communication is there. And if I were going to list for most parents, what the most important thing is it's that communication. I mean, we've had parents tell us that for the first time their children have said their names. So that's the area that we work in. But there's also a relevance, I think, right now to where we work. Our mission is to serve underserved communities. And we were able to leverage the Affordable Care Act to work in underserved communities. There's a question that I always ask myself, is why do we have a world where a child with autism receives treatment based on their socioeconomic circumstances? And why would we allow children to grow up with disabilities that are treatable? And our mission is to level that playing field. Our mission is to make sure that every child, no matter where they're born, can receive treatment. So we are in areas that most providers do not want to go to, if not all. And so we're really in a lot of challenged neighborhoods.
I have time for one last question, and that is, what's the first red flag for a parent that their child might be autistic? What should
that's an interesting question, because mothers tend to be the ones that recognize it first. It usually is like there's no eye contact, there's no response. And usually with an infant, you will see some sort of contact, some sort of response. And a lot of times, although it's getting better, a lot of times a parent will be the first one to notice it, go to a doctor and say, I think that there's something wrong. I think it used to be where a doctor would say, well, just give it more time. Mm-hmm. And I think now the testing is getting earlier. If you can get a child diagnosed at age 2 and you work with this child for a couple of years, you can make all the difference in the world. So we encourage early detection, early intervention. We feel that can change the course of autism.
Daniel Blank is the founder of The Place for Children with Autism. I got that website right? The Place for Children with Autism.com.
You did. Yes, you did.
How fortunate for you that was available. The Place for Children with Autism.com is the perfect way to remember this business. Daniel, continued success, and boy, who wouldn't support that mission? I'm glad you're out there doing what you do.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You'll hear from him again here on WGN Radio. It's 1241, The Place for Children with Autism.com.